Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Black Monster Cup. We're getting ready to start into game number 4. It is the winner's match, of course, Wasabi Gaming taking on Area of Effect. The winner gets to go directly to the playoffs. Don't pass go, don't collect however much gold you would like, and the loser has to go back and face off against Cognitive for that coveted second spot. I am getting ready for this game. I don't know about you, Task. Here we go. Level 1.
The players are certainly ready for it.
Yeah, they ran right into each other this time, so very early aggression.
They actually got that ward too, just by being all grouped together. Didn't even have to utilize sweeper because they don't have one.
Smithy, though, he might get chased away. Scary 5-man level 1, and AoE strutting their stuff, saying we can do anything we want in your neck of the woods right now. Forcing a few backs.
See if they'll do anything with that information, however. Placed a couple of deep trinkets. Don't seem to be acting on it, but they do seem to be moseying towards the red buff as well as Evan. Could see a lane swap.
Yeah, it could happen. Evan and Elements have a fairly late game focused composition, and they might not be feeling too confident to take on Latman and Yuno right now. So it looks like it will be the lane swap, but they're waiting and baiting in the bush just now. Shouldn't catch anything just yet.
Trying to see if they can catch a slippery Kinney on Aurelia there. Little do they know that Kinney's actually leashing for proof. Excuse me, Smithy.
Aha, too much of that last game. Normally see them on the same team together. Alright. Smithy is going for his blue, but they back away very quickly, realizing that the 4-man comes in for the late invade as this game gets ready to start, gets underway. See the lane swap and probably the jungle buddy system coming out after it.
With that, they do recognize the lane swap, like you said, so immediately we have Latman and Yuno taking advantage and control of the creep wave, pushing that into a slow push and doing what they do best. Likewise, I feel like in the 2v1 lane swap, especially because it's effectively, you know, trading the top tower for the early dragon, it almost becomes a fast push versus a slow push in that side lanes. Because obviously when the threat goes for the dragon, you have to be ready and in position to take down the tower to answer the global swing.
It's true. With the element of surprise on their side, they get, you know, a slight window that they can act on. Baby Zeus getting chunked out by that distance very early. Wolf's Claw not playing around this game. He's playing to win.
Very good Orianna player. The fact that he steps so far forward, so it decreases the time that his ball has to travel. Able to allow him to bully further underneath that tower. Evan, though, speaking of towers.
That was a little too close for comfort. He backs away. Baby Zeus going to get out of the area. Sees Elements, the classic Elements roam in the early game. Comes in, Wolf's Claw says, I got this.
I feel the 2v1 is really well suited to a team like Area of Effect. Their laners are strong. Obviously, they have very mechanically gifted players across the Challenger circuit, but they aren't known for their big laning phase. Again, it's more all about that team fight.
They're mixing it up here. It's a good choice.
Well, with the lane swap, you effectively, you know, you make your laner stronger. If you have if your 2v2 isn't the strongest, you just switch it out and get a free bypass straight into late game. So I think this is very smart.
Yeah, makes Kenny have a few problems anyways, too, because he just has to sustain against something that can continually push him in. Ranged against melee will always be good, and even in the early game, he's got a lot of pressure on his side. In the bot lane, Mikasa, perfectly content to be able to tank those shots. Latman, even taking a little bit of damage from Elements as well, so this is a really smart choice for him.
Kenny about to lose a lot here, too, but hold on.
Oh, Smithy checking into the brush, and he gets found out by a Spartan. Baby Zeus coming around the side to help even the odds, so is Wolf's Claw. But they'll back away. No double buff transfer this time.
Talking about how Kenny's teleport is actually already down. Evan's going to go ahead and waste an entire wave into that tower, including the cannon creep, so bit of a hit there for Kenny. 20-17, though, so not doing too shabby quite yet.
Mikasa. Man, he loves going in and just scaring the hell out of Latman. And Yuno actually tanking a lot of body shots right there. They stay alive, but it's really, really dangerous for them. Smithy now, and Inori getting up into the mid. There's a lockup. Mikasa could look to go deep on this when he's only level 3 and the exhaust comes out. So they're having to spend a lot just to keep themselves alive in this game. Evan having no such trouble in the top.
You also have to think who's stronger technically in that 2v2. Kog'Maw Braum or Morgana Yasuo. Of course, Kog'Maw doesn't
He's on
ever
the
want to
samurai
face
right
that
now.
Yasuo, but now Kenny
Oh,
finds Evan behind his
he's
creeps.
find Evan right there. He might go down in this one. He gets the jump off rocket at the last minute to stay alive. That was a close shave.
He has a little bit of relief going into that, knowing that Aurelia doesn't have the Ignite, though.
True. With the prevalence of teleport, it gets really dangerous to run anything but that. Inori trying to make moves on this bot side. He could go in for the jump, but Kenny sees it coming from a mile away.
Kenny playing mind games, going to find Evan.
Wow, they might go on to Evan here. That's going to be first blood. Smithy picking that one up, and Inori can't peel in time. Evan got a bit greedy on that.
Brilliant stall from Kenny to hide into the brush and wait, create time for X-Smithy to get there for the counter gank. The other big issue was that Liquid Inori misused his cooldown. He actually stunned a creep to create distance, using it to advance in the opposite direction as opposed to stall out damage.
Worked out really well for them, and with the unchecked aggression from Wazabi being curved, or from AoE being curved just a little bit now, Wasabi has some breathing room in that top lane, and I think they're going to breathe a sigh of relief with it.
Oh, definitely. Doesn't help, though, the gold went back into the jungle. Yeah, it's good for Lee Sin. Obviously, he needs more of a snowball potential, but you definitely wanted that gold more so on Kenny.
That's true. So if there's anything silver lining for AoE in that, it's, yeah, that it ended up going over to the jungle, but that does enable him to get his Sightstone a little bit earlier, and now, with waves still pushing against them, the bot side of Wasabi Gaming has to be calling for a little bit of help here. Dragon could be contested pretty soon if teams want to go for it, but they seem more interested in prolonging the laning phase.
Actually, really curious that Xmithy went the straight out the gate Sightstone rush, even before finishing any sort of item for his machete. Taking that early gold spike that he got and transferring it into vision for his team. So
it is a bit surprising. Lee Sin doesn't rely on his eyes. He has all the words.
All of them.
Evan, careful now. Kenny going forward onto him. That procs the W, and he tries to go back in, but he might have made a mistake here. Can Kenny get enough damage? Buster Shot comes out to even the odds, and they'll back away.
Panic mode for just quite a second there. Obviously, Blade Surge coming down and getting the reset after the rocket jump.
Mikasa doesn't have 6 yet. That's the only reason that Latman didn't take a huge chunk of damage, but if Yuno goes down here, that could be a different story. He'll pop, and they're going forward for it. He doesn't have 6. He can't get the damage out. Ignite's not enough. That's Elements getting the kill. However, Latman answers right back onto Mikasa, and he might even pick himself off an Elements who's running the wrong way right now. But here comes Inori. There's the baits. Oh, flashed right away from the Darkbind. Latman cuts his losses and tries to leave.
Good job from Liquid recognizing that he was the escape route, but hold on, Xmithy now.
Yep,
with
didn't want to be anywhere near that ball.
Good collapse from Area of Effect to be aware of what's happening around them now in the top lane. Of course, Kenny now has the advantage over Evan effectively. Evan has to be very careful with his positioning and his spacing against that Aurelia.
Teleport, however, is coming in. Mikasa trying, excuse me, that is actually, hey, Kenny, whoa, that's Elements going down really quickly there as they all of a sudden decide to contest their red buff. Braum knockup commencing. Mikasa in a little bit of trouble in 4 enemy territory right there. Going down to Kenny, picks himself up a double kill unofficially.
And this will surely mean Dragon. Nice teleport from Kenny right there. Greed. AoE look to punish even further, picking up some free kills on the tower, but get burned by it with a nice teleport and collapse.
And the Dragon giving up doesn't help at all. They can't even take their blue buff entirely securely. Dragon's going down now in favor of Wasabi Gaming. First one of the game, as they get themselves a maybe not comfortable, but breathable lead in this game.
That said, they should be able to trade the top tier tower. Evan has that very low. Latman actually making his rotation up there. So looks like Kog'Maw's going to take all that free EXP. Perhaps even freeze that lane for himself.
If he can, absolutely. But this means that it will signal the return of kind of a weird sort of laning phase that doesn't involve all the towers on the map. So far, just one has fallen. And that's AoE managing to pick that one off, just slowly picking it away. But Evan does have the zone to be able to chase out Latman if he wants to. It's all going to come down to who collapses here. Looks like we have Kenny coming back to the top lane.
Yeah, Latman actually making his B. We'll see where he goes from there, if he's going to go back to that bot lane and join Yuno.
I think he should. There's really no reason not to at this point.
I was curious if they were going to make the call that they were going to prioritize Kenny's farm on Aurelia versus the solo farm and EXP on Latman for that Kog'Maw there. Looks like they are going to give it to Kenny.
Also trying to set up gank. It's taking its time in coming. Smithy moving around the side, but he's going to get spotted out by a ward. I think he backs away from that, just knowing that they're playing very safe on this bot side. You also don't necessarily want to dive into Mikasa, now that he's got 6.
For sure.
Oh, the
Grand
man
Scratch
drop. Hello. Can they get out in time? Latman just around the side. Yuno going to tank up a little bit of that damage. They do have a tower to fall back to. And that's Mikasa not choosing to spend his last breath, as Yuno was the one locked up on that one. Smithy coming around the side to make it at 3v3. And they force the disengage. Baby Zeus in a little bit of trouble here, though. That is the wild growth. The ball could come in. Oh, Wolfsclaw, he's taken very low in all that, but staying alive just barely. Baby Zeus can't quite polish him off.
Wolfsclaw far too forward, did not have the mana to commit to that, was looking for the kill there, but I think he got in and it was just like, oh no, I don't have any more abilities available to him.
Yep, that is the classic mistake of realizing you are not Syndra.
I think he was looking for the blue buff there. Kenny, full control of this lane now.
That is a close thing. Can't be dealing with the Aurelia lightly like that. Bot lane's going to reset nice and easy. But with the towers answered in the top side, this kind of opens it up a little bit, and Evan's got to be careful on the solo.
Unfortunately, Tristana not the best champion at freezing a wave due to her explosive shot.
It's kind of hard.
Just a little bit. Whereas, you know, Kenny was able to take his time.
You got to level it up last.
I haven't even clicked on him. I could have seen that. What's he doing? No, he has it maxed.
Yeah. No freezing for that Yordle. Oh boy, Smithy, don't go that way. He's going to go down. Doesn't accept it, but he falls anyways. Wolfsclaw and Liquid Inori setting up a trap.
Will they do anything with it though? See if they can transition this into a tower, possibly some pressure. Wolfsclaw done a good job getting some decent hits on that mid-tier tower.
Yeah, there's way too much mobile defense from Wazabi to be able to take anything lightly like that. Now Kenny's coming down to try and secure the collapse. Inori goes for the jump onto Yuno, but he's taken low. There's the big ball landing, however. Inori goes down anyways. Elements on the wrong side of this fight, gets his soul shackles off, but will he go down? Will he stay alive? I don't know. His flash going in. Yuno's taken pretty low in this. Kenny going for the dive. He gets the kill off, and they find Wolfsclaw as well, tanking the tower shots all the way. They come up with 3 kills for free.
And the tower on top of that. Unfortunately, just not a lot of coordination coming out of very effective. It was effectively a high 5, one after the other.
Yep, they give that one.
Team just walking in and dying.
Evan can't make the defense happen, so they have to give that one up now, as that does fall 2 towers to 1. Mikasa tries to answer in the bot, but he's not got the mini wave. And yeah, AoE. Frosk, what exactly did they do that for? It was really uncharacteristic of them. They're usually the great team fighting team.
It was just an issue that Liquid Inori was caught. You have to think that a lot of their team fight capability, especially with Pantheon, it's almost like Twisted Fate. What Pantheon kind of brings to a team fight, it's not like he can press R into the middle of it and suddenly win. You know, he initiates with his ultimate. So when you catch him out like that, deleting the usefulness of that champion instantaneously. And then, of course, funnels into a notch. Yeah. Throws into a nice shockwave, and then Element's just not on the same page. As soon as the shockwave is done, Liquid Inori is dead, and it's already now a 4v2. Walks into the Soul Shackle for effectively nothing.
Yeah. At this point, it's looking like they might have to stall this out. However, Inori and Mikasa on the chase, flash for flash. And he dodges away from Element's Q. 4-man collapse does not succeed in taking anything, but the dragon is up in a minute. If they can get some map control here, they might be able to get some gold back in their pockets.
They could also get some decent damage onto this tower, but we do see Latman making his way that direction. You know, of course, already in the area, as well as Smithy on those mini golems. Could see a possible... He is walking over there. He's going to be spotted out by a ward, though.
Yeah, he's going to be able to clear it. But yeah, they know he's here. They know the 3v3's happening. The real numbers advantage will be if Inori decides to go for the Grand Skyfall in, but it's dangerous to do. Now, Mikasa's in the brushes. They know he's here. Don't have vision on him, but they have to assume Evan RL will get some free farm in the meanwhile. Not even flinching with the Winter's Bite.
I think they're all discussing.
Oh, there's the man drop, and they're just going to force the back away. Comes in, and that is going to be tower number 2 in favor of AoE to even up the score in that department. Dragon coming off of cooldown. Just a minute. This could be another big fight. Smithy taking a big bite out of his health bar as Wolf's Claw.
They don't have the Grand Skyfall, though. So it cannot be used as a zoning tool.
But the ball is certainly available if they want to go in for the contest. Oh, Sonic Wave lands. He gets in. Doesn't get the Smite Seal off. There's the Wild Growth on Smithy, keeping him alive in that. Inori is in a world of hurt, but he tries to jump forward. Getting denied on that one. Being focused out. Evan is going to get himself a kill. But Kenny gets the Unstoppable onto Inori, and Evan RL only answers with the support. They're on the run right now, even though they got the Dragon. Evan RL is being chased down. Elements falling over. Buster Shot, the only thing keeping the 80 carry alive, and Elements burning his flash in the meanwhile. Wolf's Claw helping out the defense. But so far, 3-for-1 trade. Even with the Dragon, it's hard to say worth in that situation.
And you talk about the mobility and the chase of Wasabi Gaming right now, the fact that you have the Whims, you have Aurelia, who's just a very quick champion, has the Blade Surge available to him, and then someone like Lee Sin on top of that. The ability to brute force their way in and then just start making pickings. Yes, they got the Dragon, but at what cost?
Yeah, that's definitely a what cost.
It certainly wasn't the lead.
Without the man drop, they didn't have the ability to create any additional zone. And you see how very smart Wazabi engaged that. They went in with a lot of poke before they didn't know Wolf's Claw might have had the Shockwave available. He didn't actually, but it came up as a potential death trap if they went in for it. And they just didn't commit fully. And that resulted in taking out the 3-for-1. It's a nice trade. No Elements.
See if we can find another skirmish here, though.
Kenny is big right now. 6-0 on Aurelia. Scary.
And the other thing that they did really well in that team fight, which kind of speaks to how they're thinking, how they're going to approach area effect, is they all came in from different directions. Typically, when you're on a dragon fight or a baron fight, you want to come from the same side because you want to be cohesive as a unit, but they literally collapsed down in area of effect, which, like you said, they didn't realize that the shockwave was down, or, you know, maybe they did, but respecting the AoE presence from area of effect.
Yeah.
By not clumping together.
That is a very appropriate thing to do. Smithy gets the... Oh, Evan. Oh, Buster Shot back in the teleport. Mikasa didn't need to use that. He does cancel it, so we'll get the bit of a cooldown back, but that was an unnecessary burn, I think. It might have saved Evan, life. But I don't know. The Buster Shot certainly helped. Oh, Wolf's Claw wanting to take the fight to Smithy now. So the mid lane under fire from both these teams. 4-man for 4-man. And they back away from each other.
There's nothing necessarily here for Wasabi Gaming, however. You do see that Latman's still in that bottom lane pushing towards the last remaining first-tier tower. That's going to be the next easiest objective for them on the map. He has to be very careful, though, of course, playing with the Grand Skyfall. He doesn't have any vision on Liquid Inori, and he doesn't have a tower to run back to, which is why he's being a little bit more cautious here. But yeah, here we go, starting to see the rotate down, taking the easy objective on the map.
Yeah, it may not be that easy. Look at the 3-man now. Inori is actually just kind of hanging out in the brushes, but he has Grand Skyfall available. Smithy might face check into this jungler, or not. Hey, here I am. Nope. Doesn't want to take that 1v2. And Mikasa might get triple timed here. He is getting blown up. And that is another kill going over to Kenny. Absolutely amazing kill participation in this game. 7-0-3. 90%.
That's a very fed Aurelia. Should have a... how much gold is he sitting on here?
It's quite a bit.
1,100. Not too bad.
Got a lot more than the team. He's got the most gold in the game right now.
Oh yeah, 7,000.
Easily.
Ridiculously fat Aurelia.
Yeah, they have to be very, very careful in dealing with that. So he's leading the charge right now. Wolf's Claw Elements trying to stop the inevitable push, but AoE is just getting pushed in as the outer turrets have all been cracked open.
And Wasabi's doing a good job creating different pressure points on the map. Not only are they shoving the bot wave, of course, but Baby Zeus in the mid lane now.
Prompting AoE to scatter their reinforcements to see where they go and try and put people off. That Evan just hasn't been able to get up to his full usefulness yet. Still sitting on only the static shiv, and they don't have the sustained damage to fight this, so they have to give up more map control.
see how patient Wasabi's going to be here, which second tier tower they're going to go for. Technically, the mid one will give them more map control. Dragon is up in a minute 30.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so they're going to make the call. They're just going to go back B, spend all of their gold, get as strong as possible, then probably look towards Dragon, secure their vision control on that objective, then take another free global.
Yeah, I think Kenny's going to go for that early Banshee's Veil. He's going to be even harder to kill in this.
You don't need a lot of damage items on Aurelia to be ridiculous. Typically, it's Trinity into straight tank.
Oh, wait, yeah, he might go the Spirit Visage route.
Yeah, you can mix it up with a few different accessories, but at this point, this is the core for Aurelia that she's running around at, you know, effectively 16 minutes.
Yeah. And that Wombo combo that we talked about just hasn't really panned out for AoE right now. They've been too afraid to take a straight 5v5 because of the results, and I can't say I blame them.
Well, you really touched on it, the fact that Wasabi Gaming are so mobile that they keep finding these skirmishes. And again, Aurelia thrives in skirmishes. The fact that they're recognizing AoE's team composition, and when they do find, you know, a full 5v5 in that last Dragon fight, that they're scattered. They're never close together, allowing Wolfsclaw to find these good shockwaves. But again, it only takes one.
Look at where the damage is being focused on. AoE has so far taken 2 of 3 kills onto the support, you know, which is exactly what Wasabi Gaming wants. Here comes the man drop. Oh, he cancels it out. It gets canceled out by Smithy, and Nori's not going to be happy about that one, but they will be pretty happy on the side of Wasabi Gaming as they get the bait fight out. Whoa, there's Kenny going forward. Can he pick himself up a kill? Ball is going to connect, but not nearly enough damage. Wolfsclaw is going down. Another kill. More gold in the pocket of Kenny. Tower shots? What tower shots? I'm going forward for kills. You know, coming to his rescue, Mikasa trying to finish him up. And Elements has the Soul Shackles out, but he's running for dear life right now. And they're in the tower range. Elements could go down. That is a big Aurelia. Another kill going over. Mikasa having to flash away. Kenny goes down to the tower, and Mikasa might look to salvage this one. Baby Zeus getting himself the kill there. And it's still, even when they win, they don't necessarily win.
But the idea of Smithy being so deep in that pit, recognizing that, okay, we're going for the Dragon objective. Who do I need to pick off? I need to force out the jungler. Immediately, Liquid Ignore gets taken down very low, gets out by the skin of his teeth. Of course, it devolves into this huge chase, utilizing their mobility, chasing people down, making these picks here and there. Kenny, as huge as he is, you know, taking towers, like you said, what towers? Doesn't even matter to him.
The flashbang counters at like 9.
But the thought there from Wasabi and how coordinated they are about what they want.
They know exactly what their win conditions are this game, and it's pretty much push, 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 and grab those kills on Aurelia. 9-1 now. Wicked would be proud. Somewhere out there, I like to think Wicked is always happy about something.
He stopped what he was doing. He's like, there's an Aurelia.
Somewhere there's an Aurelia doing really well. And then he gets really worried because Morella's going to nerf her.
Too soon.
Again. Yeah. No, the Aurelia is still pretty situational.
It's that kit. It's not about the numbers. It's all about the kit.
Yeah. All right.
See if Kenny can continue to steamroll, though, or if Latman can pick up some of the slack on this Cogman as we start to come up into, you know, mid-game. Likewise, Evan on that Tristana.
We've been singing
Still doesn't have his eye edge, though.
We have been singing the praises of Kenny, but... You know, Latman hasn't been doing too bad. He's stayed alive throughout all of these fights, stayed in the backline doing exactly what he needs to. And more importantly, like you mentioned, he's up compared to Evan, who hasn't been a big factor in this, and they've had to actually get out of there. Oh, Elements. Hello, Smithy getting locked up. There's the ball landing, but Yuno says, I don't care. I'm Braum going forward, making it look easy. Get the kill onto Liquid in Nori. Meanwhile, the bot lane Mikasa and Kenny continue to trade, but he cannot stand the heat. Get out of the kitchen, go back to Fountain.
Big issue, though, is that it was a 4v4 without their big gold leader, Kenny, there. Of course, in that 1v1 with Mikasa bottom. And Wasabi Gaming still brute forcing their way through that. Smithy, a big player. His score doesn't necessarily reflect that, but for how involved he is and for the chaos that he's creating in the team fights.
Well, not only that, Wolfsclaw's balls have not been forward enough. The shockwaves have not connected on anything but Yuno.
Oh, no.
Oh, Kenny. Wolfsclaw might be in a bit of trouble there. Buster shot away. That is going to be Wolfsclaw getting taken pretty low, taken down as Smithy comes in and walks it out. There is Kenny chasing for the 2v1. Can he take it? Evan going to be able to cut away from that one. Turns on a Liquid Inori. Smithy going too far forward, and this might be the shutdown gold. Oh my god, they killed Kenny in a double kill for Liquid Inori, but it gets answered back by Uninhibitor. Wazabi Gaming still capitalizes.
The fact that Kenny didn't even care. He saw the Grand Skyfall, was like, you know what, I can 5v1, I can 3v1, I can do this. It just continued forward. A little bit of a mechanical misstep with his E cooldown. Effectively, he was thinking, of course, I'm going to be low health, I'll get that stun for free. I didn't keep track of where it went, but he did not stun any sort of target that was going to be doing damage to him on the back half of that fight.
Yeah, that was...
Could have been his mana. He looked like he was low in mana at the back half as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Smithy went back in. That was really, really strange and unnecessary. But nonetheless, even when they get beaten down, they capitalize. That top lane was completely uncontested. And now they have to deal with a completely dead inhibitor for the next few minutes.
Things could be worse, though. Bright spot is it wasn't the bottom inhibitor, so there's not going to be a pressure point created to make them force a contention between Baron. Which I'm going to assume is kind of going to be the next big objective for Wasabi, so they can really put the cherry on top of this game.
See if they can. 17 kills and quite a lot of gold in the pocket, already doing a bit of that for him.
Oh, there's
and
Kenny.
Here he comes. Mikasa Kamisama could get locked up on this one. There's the Braum multi. Ball's going to connect. Still not enough damage. Mikasa, his health bar's going down, but that's Liquid Inori making his presence known. Mikasa finally gets his death served up to him, but Kenny goes down in that fight, and that's who they need to shut down. 1-for-1 trade so far, but they got to get out of here. Wolf's Claw on the run, wants to keep his blue buff, tries to dodge away, and the Living Artillery takes him down. Thank you very much, says Latman. Oh,
Chase the storm, they found elements.
Tried to be sneaky, didn't work. I feel like when a Kog'Maw's chasing you, it's a very slow...
Look at how quickly he's running.
I know! He's got some wheels on him there as he gets the kill.
That's not a caterpillar, that's a race car. Wow, that was the Phage proc as well as the Whimsy.
Kog'Maw just evolved into something with a lot more speed.
I love how quickly his little legs moved.
Yeah, and now they're doing the Baron. Speaking of quickly, they don't even care that this is completely seen. Inori could go for the smite still, technically the 50-50, but they're so far in the head. It's so far ahead that they're feeling confident in the head.
He doesn't have Grand Skyfall though, so to get over, he's either going to need to use his stun on someone close to the wall. He's got the flash.
They're not going to give him the chance. Smithy going forward for him, and he is going to get that kill. Picked up Liquid Inori. There's your cherry on top as Baron Nashor goes down. They get themselves a significant 10K lead at 28 minutes in.
Wasabi entirely in the driver's seat. Now find Wolf's Claw. Huge damage. Oh, but
boy. Kenny could go forward on it. Ooh, careful. He dodges out of everything and gets back in. That was a massive kill. It ends up going over to Latman. And Kenny, speaking of massive, he's got the wild growth on him. He doesn't really care about the consequences at all. They're going to die for these kills. They want to pad those scores. MNRL has to spend his rocket jump. And he is still on the chase. Summoner heal. That's going to be the Braum ulti not connecting on anybody, but they're still chasing forward. Kenny goes down. Way too ham, but they don't care. Still pushing forward right now. You know might fall. I don't know. This is still looking good for them. They traded 1 for 2, and they managed to get themselves a tower. All right, so they're feeling pretty confident if they can do that. Oh, no. That could be Inori answering back. Shut down gold. Going to the jungler of AoE. What is this game right now, Frost? I don't even know anymore.
Tower MVP right there. Effectively, they lost probably a majority, over half their health. From running through towers. Smithy's just sitting there, you know, on the second tier mid tower. Just guys, come on, guys, please.
Yeah, that's what happens when you get a little bit too cocky. So in net effect, Smithy is getting denied his kick in. Oh, he wants to find a kill here onto Inori, but that was a 1v3. He got the Baron buff, but not for long. Going down, and this gold gap is starting to close just the slightest of bits.
If area of effect were to make their stand, that's where it needed to start. That Baron, entirely useless. They didn't get anything for it. I think they got a second-tier mid-tower that Smithy pushed down, but that was pretty much it. Shortest-lived Baron I've ever seen.
That was, yeah, completely negated. So that part of the lead is taken away from Wasabi Gaming. I think they've learned their lesson here. Maybe this time Kenny doesn't go all the way to Fountain when there's still a second-tier mid-tower standing. We can only hope.
He dove the second tier mid tower, the inhibitor tower, the other inhibitor tower, and a nexus tower.
And his team was just like, Kenny, come back here. Kenny, what are you doing?
The only thing he didn't dive was the super tower.
Yeah.
And he was
He
looking
almost
at
got
it.
the kill. He almost got Evan, to be fair, but it's quite a quick little yordle.
You could tell he was hungry. He wanted it.
Yep. But they didn't quite follow up on the damage. However, you see Baby Zeus pushing it out with Kenny in the top, and we haven't talked too much about Baby Zeus. He's really been setting up a lot of the kills that Wasabi's gotten. His kill participation is pretty much through the roof as well. But we just don't mention it because he hasn't been coming up with the, the big wombos.
And you're absolutely right. He's been really on point. I mean, I think twice this game he's actually flashed over towards Kenny to give him a wild growth.
Speaking of Kenny, making his presence known, top lane inhibitor should fall down again, as there is no real contest possible from AoE. They give that one up and resign themselves to turtle time for a few more minutes.
Wasabi being a little bit more controlled this time around, just a little smidgen.
Just a bit.
As they go back for the creep wave this time.
This thing that we're supposed to clear before we push towers. Oh, we should probably clear that.
Are they heading bot? No, they're heading for the blue buff.
Should be able, well, they can clear out bot with just one member at this point, but Latman is sufficiently big that he's become an intense deep threat on the chase. They have to shut him down, but they also have to worry about Kenny. If they somehow manage to take those two out, they can win. But the only reason AoE won that last fight was because of the incredible chase.
That said, I mean, Yasuo is an item-dependent champion like most hyper carries are. Doesn't have his Eye Edge available to him, but he does have his Bork and his Shiv. So he's starting to get to that point where he's Yasuo no matter what.
That's true.
And if he gets a hold of Latman, he's going to pop him. The issue is Kenny and the wild growth.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that a ban?
And unfortunately, it should be a ban. I just don't think that they really have anything to deal with it. You're looking for a fantastic shockwave and safety and security for Evan to be outputting that DPS, as well as Mikasa to completely eliminate Latman. But I feel like even if they got a fantastic shockwave, even if they had Evan just plowing into Kenny with his damage, I don't know if it would be enough, if they'd be able to output damage fast enough to go through how far ahead this Aurelia is.
Agreed. They need the perfect engagement combo, but what's really crazy is that Wolfsclaw has been missing a lot of these shockwaves or only landing them on a single target. Yuno is doing an incredible job. Actually, everybody, I mean, we go back to it. Wasabi Gaming is this incredible pushing machine, and the only time they really faltered is when Kenny has just gone completely banana pancakes for those kills, and they...
Spaghetti pants?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same level of deliciousness, however way you slice it.
I can't right now. That mental image.
You try not to think about it too long.
I
Never
just
heard the term banana pancakes?
I've never heard the term spaghetti pants.
Well, you're not likely to hear it again. Guys, for those of you wanting context, too bad. We're not going to give it to you.
Too bad. Too long, didn't read.
Well, speaking of too long, the siege is starting to get a little bit wearing for AoE as they continue to clear wave after wave. Baron and Dragon both up in a minute and a half, just about of each other. And you see Smithy trying to make the move here. Can he get in here? Mikasa getting exhausted by who is frontline tanking very well. Elements comes in for the action, getting kicked away, and he gets himself saved by the Zhonya's, but they cancel out his ult anyways. That is going to be Kog'Maw getting the kill. They get the ball. They get the combo. Mikasa, not enough damage as Kenny gets himself another kill, and we were putting that to the test just now. Blinking health bars on every member of Wasabi Gaming, but everyone on the side of AoE is just about dead. Evan RL, last man standing, last Yordle standing. He gets himself a rampage kill, staying alive. Take down Xmithy and Latman for his troubles, but still, they come up with the W so far, Wasabi Gaming.
That is a triple kill. Oh my goodness, Evan, will he be able to get into position? No, he has to clear out the wave.
He could. He really could, but yeah, he can't.
But that's the power of the Wombo combo. You have to think, they are so far behind. That's a 10k deficit. They've been locked in their base, their levels behind, their items behind. They got the perfect Wombo combo, that beautiful shockwave. It only takes one into a fantastic last breath. Everyone was low. Yes, they didn't get that big kill, but it could have turned. It was that close, and that's why Wasabi has been respecting... I want to say respected, but then I think back to Kenny, diving 20 towers. But that's why they were being so patient that time around. They respect the Wombo combo. They recognize that shockwave, you have to give it space.
Yeah, absolutely. The one time it actually does connect, it doesn't do quite enough damage, but look at this. You see AoE going now. I would say this is Desperation Baron, but they have the positioning and the damage to take it down. Evan actually is able to do this outside the pit as he's hit 17, and they will be able to get this one without any repercussions. Oh, Xmithy wants to change that, though. There is a perfectly timed Black Shield. Xmithy gets the kickoff, and they try to still poke them out. Mikasa and Elements very low, trying to dodge away from the Living Artillery. One more might do it for Mikasa. He's got to be very careful. The dodge comes in. Oh, this was oh man, Elements is gonna be gone here. Cheeky with the last second Zhonya's, but they think they'll take that as a small price to pay for getting the Baron buff.
They get the Baron, but will it save them the game?
It's not gonna
this
save
is
them
the Spartan
inhibitor
stance.
Here. Can Liquid Inori kick someone into a well to end the game? Not yet.
One standing tower remaining. They do have a wave onto that bot side. Someone will have to respond to that. They have very good waves clear between Wolf's Claw and Evan.
You gotta help but think that Wasabi Gaming has all the time in the world to work with this, because two dead inhibitors on opposite sides of the map means that there's going to be a lot of split attention. Maybe not right now. There's Mikasa and Liquid Inori. That's a lot of combos blown. Wild Growth going to be responsible for keeping Lapman alive. Not so much for AoE. They're looking pretty low right now. Xmithy even staying alive through all that, falling down. Finally, Evan RL gets himself the dot tick, but it is a poor trade for area of effect. 4-for-1, all said and done. Elements just comes back off the fountain. However, pressure is on and time is running out for AoE.
I feel like this is the final march, the Empire march,
Can they
straight
save
towards
it?
the Nexus Towers.
Dun, 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 dun. I don't think it's going to be able to go on much longer. Yuno and everybody are marching on forward. Evan, he's getting pushed on, exhausted now. That is the last tower falling. This is going to be game over, and it looks like our first team from Group C in the Black Monster Cup is going to be Wasabi Gaming going to the playoffs, and that means AoE set up to play Cognitive right after this. That was quite the march forward into the base, Frosk. I don't really know what to say there.
I assumed you were like, right after this, I was like, oh, I guess he's cutting to commercial.
Early transition
now.
No. I juked you out there.
I wanted to talk about kind of the comeback story of Wasabi in general. You know, formerly Frank Fang Gaming throughout the Challenger circuit, particularly through the ESL organization and EPS, they stumbled quite a bit out of the gate. Weren't able to find a solid footing, but B, a solid roster. Roster seems to be finalized. I mean, you had a short stint of, Nian Tonso on the top lane. Of course, now finding great success from iKinyu, that Aurelia performance. It seems like they're now kind of coming together cohesively and firing on all cylinders. And it's not just, iKinyu or Latman, but you have all three superstars. You have Baby Zeus in the mid lane. You have the superstar in Latman. You have the superstar in iKinyu. Xmithy, if he's going to be the prolonged jungle face for them going forward, obviously has a history of being a superstar, but it's nice to see them kind of rise back and really start to make a presence on the Challenger circuit.
Yeah, they came up big with that one. And AoE, they're going to have to be scratching their heads and figuring out what they can do against Cognitive Gaming to secure themselves the last playoff slot, or maybe it'll be Cognitive Gaming coming back up. Of course, these teams haven't actually played each other in this group just yet, but they will after this, so we will be taking a quick commercial break. When we come back, our final match of the night. Who makes it to the playoffs to stand with Wasabi? Will it be AoE, or will it be COG? We'll be right back in just a few, guys. Don't go anywhere, because you are watching the Black Monster Cup.